Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 4. So, last time, we're kind of getting the starts of this arc. It seems to be focused on drawing it back a little bit and giving us more depth and character and build up and growth with our main heroes in training. And especially notably, Shinso, who is having a big role again. Well, really for the first time, like he's having a big role, but you know what I mean. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see what more he can do with this mask and with his power, and what more they can do to truly grow these characters. I'm very excited to see how they evolve as the series continues. I will say right off the bat, though, if you notice any differences, like with my voice or anything, or if you notice me lightly cough or anything at any point, I am still on the back end of my slight cold and everything. I mentioned this in another video this week. But basically the gist of it is it's just a light cold, luckily. The scratchy throat's almost gone. The headache isn't as bad anymore either, and right now it's just like stuffed nose and shit. So that's why my voice might sound a little different, just because of that. But I just want to let you guys know. And luckily, it is nothing worse. It is just a light cold because the weather has been hectic here lately. It's like, it was like 70s and stuff for a bit, and then it went right back down to like 40s and 50s, and now there's snow on the ground right now. It snowed yesterday. Not a lot, mind you, but still did. And it's ridiculous. With the weather just doing whatever it's doing, it's messed me up a little bit. This happens, though. This happens most years, to be fair. So it's something I was kind of expecting. And yeah, I haven't gotten that bad. I've been able to keep it in tow with various things like soup and whatnot, and using ginger and whatnot in a lot of my food, as ginger does help. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that as of the day I am recording this, I am still feeling a little bit of it, and the stuffy nose is still there to interfere. But like I said, the sore throat was a really big thing in terms of recording, because that would interfere with, recording. So it's good that that's pretty much gone. Now I just have to get rid of everything else. But either way, we're going to get this started and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Before anything, you may have noticed in the reaction there was that bit of, like, a minute or two of dead space right near the end where it, like, just kind of dies. Like, right before it happens, you even hear me saying, like, oh shit, oh shit. I almost fucked up royally. When I came out here this morning, I didn't plug in my laptop right away. I guess I just forgot. It just didn't occur to me. So I'm watching this. I notice my screen go dark, And for some reason lately, my laptop is like shutting itself off right when that happens, even though the power's technically not completely drained at that point. Um, I do have to figure out why it's doing that. But yeah, my laptop's been shutting itself down like at the first instant of the power getting to that low. And so when I saw it go dark, I kind of freaked out because I'm like, oh, if this shuts off, OBS is going to stop, but it's not going to register the recording. And so it's going to corrupt the file and shit's going to happen and I'm not going to have a reaction. So I plugged it in right away, but the computer did like go off. I turned it right back on instantly, went right back in, and somehow, I have no idea how this fucking happened, but I go right back in, I log back into my login on the laptop, and OBS is still going. And you probably saw, like when it started to come back after it was like frozen and stuck during the reaction and everything. You probably saw it's like I started moving again, and there was no audio for a second as the episode started moving again, and then the audio just suddenly came back like right at the end credits and all. And it's like that's basically where I picked right back up at it. And it's like I have no idea how it survived that. I have no idea how that worked, but I am so glad it did. I'm so glad that the reaction was saved. I was about to be so pissed off if that had corrupted, for multiple reasons. One, just losing a reaction like that, and this has happened before. Two, because it would have been entirely my fault. I own up to that. I was the one who did not plug in my laptop. I don't know why. I usually do right away when I bring it out here. So I don't know why it just didn't occur to me this time. I had a brain fart of massive proportions. But also, I would have been upset because of specifically losing this reaction, losing this episode. Because if I had lost the reaction here, I would have, instead of like putting up the pre-thoughts I had already put up, I probably would have just re-recorded a review for the episode, and it wouldn't have been the same. I wanted you guys to see this reaction. Like, I'm not especially like proud of it necessarily, but I really like this episode. Let's put it that way. This is, out of all the different like trainings we've seen, out of all the different like little like, well, there's a word for it. I just got so flustered by everything being thrown off. It's like with that. Um, but with all the like trainings they've gone through, I'll just use that still. Um, this is one of my favorites by far, just from at least uh, this first one. Um, just because of the amount of intuition and ability and even how much you have to work around things for this specific trial. Especially with the teams that either have to face off against Shinso or have to work with him. There's a lot that they have to change in their normal um, styles, their normal plannings to be able to adjust for that. And we get to see that in this episode with this first battle. We see how Class B anticipates his moves and even starts to learn from them. But we also see how he and Class A then start to use that going forward, using the fact that they are learning from it to actually like act as like a disadvantage to them, surprisingly. Like using that at the end like that, just not willing to listen to the voice anymore and everything, and then finding out like when it's too late that it's like he's already like in trouble, and it's like that was great. I love that. Getting to see how far Shinso has come and how he's using the persona chords along with the the bindings, it's really cool to see that he is getting some combat training in there because, like I said in the reaction, his quirk is not built for combat. It's more of a support style quirk. It's more of one of those that someone would use to help a team. Which is why I also think, unless Shinso can truly master combat training otherwise and using these support gears and whatnot, such as the cloth bindings, he would probably work better in a team setting as a hero, like working with another hero as like a partner, or working with a whole team like the Wild Wild Pussycats, um, something like that. Um, it fits his quirk a little more. But if he can truly master hand to hand combat and using these different objects, these different support items to give him the little bit of a push in that area that he needs, he might be able to make it without it. So we'll just have to see how that goes with his next match, where he's going to be teaming up with Class B. Um, I liked getting to see like a little more focus on these characters in Class B in this episode too. Like we've seen Shiozaki before, but getting to see more of what she can do and getting to just expand upon things at least a little bit with her was great. And getting to truly meet Shishida was something that I was hoping we would eventually get to. Because we've seen Shishida before in the series. He's not a new character, but we haven't focused on him. And we definitely haven't focused on his quirks. So getting to see how he uses that is really interesting. Even getting to see the one guy who uses the air as like shields and prisons and whatnot. Like getting to see how he's expanded his quirk since we last saw him during the tournament arc. It's like, yeah, we're getting to see the actual growth of these characters too, and that's awesome. It shows that Class B is starting to become something in this series, and I'm excited about that because there's so much more they could do with these characters, and I know they're supporting cast at best. I understand that they're not the main characters that this series focuses on, but still, there's still so much they could do with them, and I'm glad that they're going there. Um, I love the different plans that Class A uses in this, just showing that intuition and ingenuity. Um, whether it be Kaminari's just overall plan to act as a decoy, Sue covering the other two in mucus to hide their scent from Shishida, or even Shinso using his quirk to actually his advantage by making the opponents actually expect it, so that when when Shishida's teammate is actually trying to warn him, Shishida doesn't believe it's actually him, and that is so genius. It was just so well done. And yeah, I really think that this episode did wonders for Shinso's character, and I really like how it's just expanding and building upon these characters we've even known and loved for a long time, like Kaminari and Sue. Um, and it's funny too. It's funny because Kirishima is like out of that group probably the physically strongest and everything. Um, Sue is more tactical. Kaminari has his electric powers, which are a danger to deal with, but he's not physically strong otherwise. And Shinso definitely doesn't have that physical strength to him either. Um, so getting to see Kirishima be one to be taken out so easily is actually kind of refreshing, especially since we have in recent seasons had a bit of an uptick with his character. And it's not saying I want to see him like lose or anything. It's just I think it's refreshing to see the others get a chance to shine over him because these other characters, it's like, yeah, Sue has had time to shine. Kaminari shined before. It's like, but they don't shine as much. Honestly, Kirishima has had a bigger role in a lot of big moments in this series. So I'm just kind of glad he's taking a little bit more of the back seat in this specific case. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a really fun episode. It was really entertaining from start to finish. I loved the ingenuity of it all, the creative writing, and just the growth of these characters. It really, really handled all of that extremely well. And I again do apologize for those watching the reaction and like probably really fucking confused when it just suddenly stopped um for a minute or two. Um I am so glad I was able to salvage it somehow. I still don't know how that worked. I do not know how it was able to be salvaged. Because again, the computer like shut down. It not fully shut down, but you know what I mean. It turned off, and so I had to actually hit the power button to bring it back up. I had to log back into my computer login, and it was just going. And it's like I have no idea how that works. Maybe it's because I did it so quickly because I plugged the power cord in and then after it did turn off, I turned it right back on instantly. I don't know. But either way, I'm so happy it did work out, even if it did leave a little flub in the reaction footage there. And it was luckily it was right at the end too, so it doesn't. I didn't even miss much of anything, and I just went back and checked it again afterwards. So it's like even after it messed up, I was able to record seeing that last little part. um, I'm so happy it wasn't lost the footage for that. I hate when that kind of thing happens. And like I said, it has happened before. Um, you guys have probably seen that a couple times on the channel over the years. Whether this channel or the old one on the deleted account. But yeah, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of My Hero Academia Season 5, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.